Now then, and welcome back. You join me in part 4 of the Fergie project, where we're putting a Land Rover 300 TDI engine into a Ferguson TE20 TEF. In the last video, you'd seen where we'd installed the engine, and in this video I'm going to show you the support structure to retaining the engine within the tractor, how we've attached the front axle, and how we've rebuilt the front axle. We've added some new bolts and some new pins and bushes. I'm going to show you the problems I've had on the way to do with the oil pressure pipe, the air intake, and we'll also take a look at the cooling pipes. That's a problem I've still yet to solve. Also, what do we do with the bonnet? It doesn't fit. Do we make it longer? Can we move it? Stay tuned to find out. Cut out a plate and just tack welded it on the front of the side rails. Then we're going to attach the original Fergie front to that. So let's see how we get on. That's the front end welded in. We're just going around getting as strong as possible. Where this bolt is, we're going to build up around here, cut a bit of plate out, and where we've got like an extra bolt hole up here, we'll pick up with an extra bit there and up on here as well. So the engine's fully tied in. Then once we're happy with everything, I'll MIG in on here on this angle to the plate as well, so we're looking good. Where I've been welding on the front end, the boy's been making extra brackets, so we're tying in really good. Now, I said the welding was finished on the front end, but I actually went over with the arc welder. I really wanted to make sure the weld penetrated in. At the end of the day, we don't want the front axle falling off. I mentioned in the last video that we need to lengthen the radius arms. So this is what I'm doing here. I'm actually adding 30mm in, and I'm just using the arc welder. I've V'd out both sides, so we're building up the weld from the centre, and hopefully that'll leave us with a good strong weld. That's the extension piece all welded on, and I've just gone over with a wire brush on the grinder and just cleaned the whole arm up. So we've just got that process to do twice for both sides and make sure they're both the same length. I've stripped out the front axle, and I was going to make this as a temporary repair, this weld here. So if you remember, in one of the previous videos, it was cracked right through there, and somebody had actually tried welding it as well. But my friend come up, he spotted that, and he went, "I've got one of them." And here we go. We've got a new second-hand front pivot part of the axle with a brand new bush in. So what do we want to go with a brand new bush? A brand new pin. Also the bolts, these ones, I've got some brand new ones of them, so we'll put it all together with brand new bolts. And for the radius arms, I've also gone and got 2 new bolts for them. So let's get it built up. Out with the old. And in with the new. Just get a tapping stick. Lovely. We'll get some anti-seize on them. We'll put the new radius arm bolts in. If needs be, if the ball is a little bit slack, we'll get some copper packing and we'll pack this out as well. I've just been out cleaning up this radius arm. Look, from the factory new, how these tractors were built. I think we spend too much time and too much effort trying to get these things immaculate when they were never done that way. That was it, welded up, splatter left on, painted over. It's only time to play with fire. We've got a snapped off front wheel stud. So we're going to use the burning gear to warm it up and hopefully knock it out. That's the new axle bolts in, and the new bolt for the radius arm. New wheel nuts fitted. I do need to order a new stud for, where's it gone? This one. We'll get that ordered. But yeah, it's coming together. I've put the bonnet on because I was thinking I might have to move the bonnet in a bit closer, but it turns out I can't because of the radiator, which is just sat on there for a mock-up. So as you can see, I've got the dashboard off there. And what I'm thinking is spacing out the dashboard by 45 to 50 mil. That'll allow the bonnet to come down as it should without adding an extension on it. So we're going to have a look at that and see what I can come up with. I think that's maybe a better idea. I also bought a TVO fuel tank, thinking I could have it as like a reserve tank and a normal tank. But when I've sat it on top of the engine, it's too high. So I'm going to have to cut it down in depth or get a different tank to fit in this area. Oh, speaking of this area as well, I've removed all the filter housing and the bracket work there, which will give me a bit of a room for either tank or battery or whatever we need in there. But yeah, it's coming together now. That's the radius arm back in place look with the extension piece. I'm super pleased how this has turned out. I'm not sure if it's been done before, but like I say, absolutely pleased with it. And you can see once we get a bit of rub around, the bonnet will shut down really good. One issue I've got here with the filter housing is this hose and this hose, they'll go to the oil cooler. I'm not going to run it with an oil cooler, but the issue I've got is they're actually coming right between the radius arm and the steering arm. So what I'm thinking of doing is taking off the whole filter unit. Let's see if we can get a better picture. So I'm thinking of taking everything off, the whole filter housing. And this point here is maybe see if we can get an elbow welded onto this piece to return it this way. Then we can pick up this pipe here, because I presume that'll have to link back around to allow the oil to flow. So I'm going to whip that off and see if we can get that repair done. And the other thing I was thinking of is the inlet manifold air intakes here. But if I can chuck the phone round this way, but it wants to be connected to here. So what I'm thinking is, if I can get that inlet area chopped off across here, this end on here chopped off, and weld on the air intake side here and put this blank over this side, it'll give a far better route for the pipe to go from here, obviously down to the turbo. I think it'll look cleaner. That's an option I'm weighing up at the moment. The other big problem I've got is radiator pipes. This one up to here, not too bad of a problem, but let's see if we can get the camera right. We've got this one here, which we've got to try and get down to here, which is going to be a nightmare. But we'll see what we can come up with. I'm just putting this video together now, what you're watching, and I've got myself a set of overalls made up. So just for laughs and giggles, I'll put it in at the end here. Thanks for watching. As always, please like and subscribe. See you in the next one.